that's just how the game goes, right? To me, PvP wasn't a thing that I sought out in Souls. It was a thing that happened to you, right? Somebody else was interested in PvP, and then they just found you, you know? And I prefer them more as a PvE game. I mean, that just so happened to sometimes have PvP. I forgot what I was doing in this game, by the way. It's been like, what, a week? 2 weeks? I think I'm at least halfway through this game. I don't remember what was up. I know Alma did some things, right, that were like a little spooky. I forgot E is to lean. This game has a lean feature. I'm gonna not try to talk over Harlan Wade here. Oh my god, there's more.
Genevieve Aristide. Phil, how are you? It's Genevieve. I haven't seen you at Maurice's lately. We should get together for happy hour once this mess blows over. Speaking of which, I have a favor to ask. I know you and Harlan go back a ways, so I was hoping you could try to reason with him.
I adjust my chair while this is going.
Sending those poor people into the vault as though I'm happy about what happened. I made a mistake, but I don't see why everyone else should have to pay for that. Anything you can say to get him to see reason would be appreciated. Next message.
Oh my god.
Genevieve Aristide. Hi, it's Genevieve. I just want to remind you.
What is this Dread X collection? Why is there so much talking?
Before this situation erupted, I was simply trying to clean up an old mess. I was hoping we could renovate or even repurpose the site, but clearly the risks are unacceptable. I see no alternative but to destroy it completely. If you have a better suggestion, I'd love to hear it. In the meantime, I have a company to save. End of message.
There we go. Jeez. You used to call me on your cell phone. Oh, I was talking about Dark Souls. Yeah, basically, Bloodborne is the best game in that style that From Software has made. I dare not say something as inflammatory as it's the best From Software game, because there are many games that they have made, and someone would want to fight me, right? They're gonna say no, it's gonna be one of the Armored Core games. I'm like, oh, I can't really argue with that because I haven't played anything in that series other than 6, which I need to play more of, but these horror games won't play themselves, especially if I keep ignoring them to play, you know, Melatonin X collection. What the friggity frack? Jesus. Okay, I was not expecting the laser drones. Sucks that you need a PS5 to play it at a decent frame rate, though. No, that's absolutely true. I keep, like a naive little baby, right? I keep holding out hope that Sony's gonna let it release onto PC one day. Someday, right? Maybe in 10 years, I'll be the ripe age of 37. Let's just round up, right? Let's say I'll be 40 when they release Bloodborne on PC. Alright, and I won't have the reflexes to hold a controller or to play a video game with a controller. And I'll have too much arthritis and I won't be able to function. I'll give up all my hobbies and that's really bleak. That's not a funny joke. Wow. Shit. Hey, cool. Give me that weapon. Maybe I'll just go blind too, right? And then I won't be able to enjoy movies. And then when I go deaf, I can't even listen to music. I'll just exist. Who is the best Bloodborne boss, and why is it Mikolash? Alright, now I have a very, very frustrating memory of fighting Mikolash, where I was chasing him, and you know, we got to that last arena where you actually fight him proper, and I was out of healing items, right? That hunter's blood, or whatever the fuck it's called, I don't remember. And you know, he was really low on health, and I was just about to hit him with that killing blow, and he just absolutely ended me with a tentacle. And I had to do that whole fight over, and that was like my first try, right? I almost killed him, and then I was so mad at video games that it took me like 5 more tries because I was just so like pissed. And then I ran out of like blood vials at some point, so I had to go farm some. I was like, oh, I was infuriated. I was so mad at video games, but I had to keep playing because I just bought that PlayStation. The only other 2 games I had for PS4 when Bloodborne came out was Call of Duty Ghosts and Infamous Second Son, so, you know. I didn't have anything else to play. Lash, more like Miko, whoever designed this fucking boss deserves a lash. The only thing that makes him like a fun boss is like the shit he says. I don't know. Are we gonna count bosses from both the base game and the DLC? Or should I like rank each of them separate? I think man, I'm trying to think. I think even with Mikolash being such a pain in the ass, I still think Rom is the most annoying boss in the game. Definitely my least favorite. But and then if we were to go for DLC, my least favorite boss in the DLC is definitely Lady Maria of the Clock Tower. Fuck that boss fight. Holy shit, never have I been so infuriated with a boss pattern. Because, like, every time you're like, oh, I'm used to this now, right? Like, okay. And then she hits you with the blood. And you're like, oh, shit, okay. Whatever. Now her attacks go longer range. I have to figure this out. And then you figure it out and you get it down. And then there's like that delayed fire that comes out of the blood. And you're like, okay, now I have to learn all of this. Like, I hate that boss fight. I was so happy when I finished her. And then everyone kept hyping up Orphan of Kos, right? Like, Orphan Kos, the hardest boss ever, right? It took me less tries because he was so much easier to parry for me. I don't know. Like, yeah, he still kicked my ass a ton, right? But not nearly as much. I think, oh shit. I thought that guy was dead before he killed me. I know in the DLC, Ludwig was my favorite boss to fight because his first and second phase are so cool. And I absolutely loved when I found out later that the first and second phase are the same model. He's just like, he's standing differently, which, like, you're probably, you know, it's kind of like a, oh no shit. But I honestly was just like, oh okay, yeah, he just, like, they changed models to get him to like look differently because that just makes sense to me, right? So like learning about like that sort of behind the scenes stuff where it's like, no, it's the same model, it's just the skeleton is, you know, standing in a different way. It's really cool. But, oh god, my favorite boss from the base game of Bloodborne is a hard one to choose because I have to remember all of them, and I know I'm not gonna remember all the Chalice dungeon ones, and I haven't fought all the Chalice dungeon ones, so I'm gonna be not very much of a informed gamer.
Please don't presume to know my feelings. And don't lecture me about burying the dead like some fuckwit shrink. The bottom line is that we wouldn't be in this situation if you didn't ignore my warnings. And now you want to dig the hole deeper.
I'd say base game is Bloodstarved Beast. His music is rad. Oh no, I hate Bloodstarved Beast. He's not like particularly hard, but I always like fight him and then I realize that he's optional and I'm like, why did I put myself through that? And I do it every time. And I'm like, oh. I know I'm naming like a lot of bosses like, oh, I hate that boss, but like I love Bloodborne and like it's not so much that the boss is bad, it's just like to me it's like difficult. So, you know, it gets a little grueling, right? I like the bosses that I can beat. I want to say like Erebitus, is that how you pronounce it? Daughter of the Cosmos is a fun boss fight. I think Moon Presence, I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite in terms of to actually fight it, but just how cool it felt to like discover that boss was awesome. Like the first time I was like, holy shit, you know, like there's a secret boss fight, right? That's like for the real ending. And just like, you know, how much you had to try to actually fight Moon Presence. Germain is a fun boss fight. I like the boss fights where you fight like hunters, right? I know I just said I hate Lady Maria, but like Germain was cool. I liked Father Gascoigne, which is funny because I have a friend, I always joke because he sucks at fighting Father Gascoigne, and I made fun of him for it because I was like, oh, that's such an easy boss fight, right? Like how could you have like trouble with him? Like just shoot him, right? And he really struggled with Father Gascoigne for a while. And then, oh shit. And then he gets to Rom, and he's like, oh yeah, I beat that like my second try. And I was like, how the fuck did you do that? And he's like, it's just an easy boss fight, bro. Just kill the spiders. And I was like, god damn it. Like, you can't do that to me. Oh man. I gotta like play more carefully because I don't have no health. By contrast, is there a game where you love most of the things in it but hate the game in total? Like yeah, okay. I think I don't know if I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of games I think where I can see what the game could be, or like what they were trying to do, right? Or it just doesn't live up to its potential, right? Because when I say like I hate something in the game I like, right? It doesn't mean that like I actually like dislike it, or it's just, you know, it's difficult for me. I know like it's my sort of misuse of the English language here, but you know, that's what us English speakers do, right? We don't speak properly in terms of words and their literal meanings. At least not in America. Oh god, what is a game where I'd say that the potential is squandered like really bad? Oh. You know what? Actually, I think Darkest Dungeon. I think Darkest Dungeon has such a cool art style. It's such a cool idea. I like, oh my, I absolutely adore the visuals and music and like the voiceover and everything in Darkest Dungeon. And then you fucking play the game and it's so like brutally difficult and unfair. And like the game relishes in just your suffering, even on like easy mode. And I'm just like, I want to love this game. And then like you start to have some fun, and then your A team dies and you have to like start training people back up just so you can make some progress again. It's utterly awful, and I want to like that game, and I can't because it does so much in ways that I like. And then, like, you actually play it and you're just like, no thanks, actually. Oh god, yeah, I loved everything about it, and then I started playing. It's not even like the combat is bad, it's just like the RNG. Like, and I'm not someone who hates RNG. I love roguelites and like games with like permadeath and that really center around like randomness. Like Bind of Isaac is probably one of my favorite games that I've played. It really, I think, kind of influenced what I like about games in a lot of ways when I was a teenager. And so it's like, I don't hate RNG, but the way Darkest Dungeon implements it is miserable. As a big Darkest Dungeon fan, the need to regrind if your main team gets screwed is miserable. Yeah, it's just not fun. And it just kind of kills all motivation to play the game for me once that happens. And it's weird, I like to play XCOM only on Iron Man mode. So I should be used to that, but in Darkest Dungeon, I just can't have fun with it once it happens. Because I don't feel like you really get like a good story out of it. Of like some crazy shit happening, or like a rookie somehow surviving when like all of your like beefed up dudes die. Alright, and then he becomes like a fucking grizzled veteran, you know? It starts his villain arc. But on the aliens. You don't really get that in Darkest Dungeon. You just get like, oh yeah, everyone died, and now I lost like the next 5 hours of my life. I've still never beaten XCOM Enemy Unknown because I refuse to play on anything other than Iron Man mode. What's another game? I thought of another game that it was funny because, oh yeah, Hotline Miami. It's weird that indie games always do this, but I think it's just because indie games are made by small teams, so they can have really cool ideas, and then they just don't have like the manpower, technology, or like skill to like execute them, which is a shame. But Hotline Miami is such a cool idea and aesthetic, and I love the music. And it's the same thing though, once you start playing it and you're like, once you replay the same level for like the 15th time, and like you're just like, I fucking hate this game. Because like it gets so repetitive, and you get into like the same rhythm, except have you played Enemy Within? Yeah, I played it with the the Enemy Within expansion. I hate to like shit on indie games like that, like especially since like they're beloved games. So I mean, like, I guess it doesn't matter if I'm the one person who's like, fuck that game, right? Because like most people probably like them. They made their money, they have their success. I think they're generally positively reviewed, so like, I mean, if you like the game, right, don't let me tell you you're wrong, because I would consider them still like good games. They're just not good games in a way that I can enjoy them. I don't usually, oh fuck that, I don't usually like appeal to majority as an argument for like something being good, but I think in those cases, like, they're generally good, they're just not something that's tailored to my taste, I guess. Oh, did I? Hold on. Why can I pick up... Oh, that's just the ammo. Okay, I was like, why can I pick up a shotgun when I have a shotgun? They're just the ammo. That makes a lot more sense. God, this part's gonna be like really difficult, isn't it? This is gonna be like Hotline Miami. I remember I played that game Angerfoot, and I said it was like first-person Hotline Miami. And I think that formula, works better for me in like a first-person shooter, because I don't know, I guess I'm just bad at twin sticks, or at least frantically fast-paced ones like that. If it was pure unadulterated garbage, nobody would play it. No, yeah, like I said. Well, there are games where I'm like, that are like kind of considered sort of bad that I kind of enjoy, so sometimes you just kind of like some trash. I don't know. There's something that appeals to me. I mean, hey, look at all the people who like Skyrim, right? But tis. I mean, hey, Skyrim has been going strong for 10 years, so who am I to say Todd's game ain't worth it, right? It's funny though how many people like were really into Starfield when it came out. I think myself included. And then you don't really see anyone talking about it anymore. They just go, "Oh yeah, I made it to New Game Plus, realized that there was New Game Plus, and I stopped caring." Right? You mean Skyrim's been resold like 5 times in 10 years? Skyrim is a good game engine for total conversions like Enderall. Is that and Enderall, right? That's probably how you pronounce it, not Enderall. I mean, hey, there are people out there that like Starbound more than Terraria. That's just crazy to me. What was I saying? Yeah, Starfield. Yeah, I don't know. I think we got so twisted by 10 years of Skyrim that like now that we have a game that isn't Skyrim, we're like, what the fuck? What do I do with this? You're like, I don't want to play this. I want Skyrim. Todd's fucked himself. It's like when we got Resident Evil 7, everyone's like, wait a minute, this isn't even Resident Evil 4. What the hell? I haven't heard a peep from Starfield in a month or so compared to Skyrim back in 2010. It's crazy. Yeah, Starfield could be a lot better. Starfield's one of those games actually where I think I like it, except I don't. It's so cool. I kind of like the space like exploration of it, but then like there's not actually any exploration, and you just get to places through menus and fast travel, and it came and went like a wet fart. Is it comfy slop? I would have it's pretty slop, I would say. I wouldn't recommend anyone buy it at full price like I did. I don't know, it's fun, it's kind of comfy. I would have more fun with it if it ran at a stable frame rate, but you know, Todd refuses to admit that his game is unoptimized, and instead is just telling me to buy a better PC. But I'm like, Todd, I just got a better PC like 2 years ago. The fuck you mean? Todd, I'm not dropping $700 on a graphics card because one game doesn't run well. All right? I could buy like a really, I don't know. I'll say I could buy like a Fender for that price, you know, like a made in Mexico Fender. But actually, I think a made in Mexico is probably closer to like $800. But also, I know already, like, if you're in the Discord, you might have seen me rant about the disparity between Fender and Squire, and how I think for the price difference that when you buy, and this goes for Gibson and Epiphone as well, but I don't know why it seems a lot more prevalent with like people who buy Fender, is they're so quick to like snub their nose at Squire. And when you look at like someone like the upper end of Squire, like when you get into like the $600 or $500-600 range for a Squire, right? And it's like, yeah, the quality control is like probably just as good as like a made in Mexico Fender, depending on the price. And then you get into shit where you like paying like $1,200 for a fucking, you know, made in America Fender, and then it's got all these like quality control issues from the factory. Like I've seen pictures of like, I mean, granted it's like minor shit like the finish, right, being like kind of scuffed or uneven, but if you're paying over $1,000 for something, right, you better get a fucking quality product, right? That finish has got to be fucking perfect. I don't know, maybe. And like it's such like an ego thing, right? People go like, I was really talking to someone in a server that I'm in related to music, and somebody was like, oh, I wouldn't buy a Squire. I don't want that on my headstock. Does the guitar go plink plonk? It doesn't sound good. That's all I give a shit about. Yeah, like, I don't know. These fucking gear snobs like really bother me. It's like, yes, like, I think, like, I was watching this video about this guy. And he was talking about how he was like, oh, you know, I was in college and I bought a Fender because you know, I wanted to look cool, right? And I knew people thought Fender was cool and that Squires are for babies, right? And then he's like, yeah, this guy I really respected, he came over to jam and he had a Squire and I couldn't believe it. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, I did some mods for it. So of course I realized, you know, oh, he's good with the Squire because he modded it, right? Like, that's why it sounds good. And that's why he's playing better than me with my Fender. And then he was like, and he almost had like this kind of moral of the story, right? Where it's like, it's not about the gear, it's about the player, right? To some extent. I think bad gear can really, like, if you're going for like really, really bad gear, like, yeah, it's gonna hinder you, right? But quality gear that is just maybe a little bit lower is still going to be fine in like the hands of a player who knows what they're doing, especially if they know how to improve that, like polishing up frets or, you know, like modding it like minimally to get what they want out of it, right? But he just goes, no, see, the problem is he would be so much better if he just bought a Fender. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of conclusion did you just come from, my guy? And I've seen people say like, oh, you know, like Fender's kind of like become like an old man brand, right? Where it's like, you know, like boomers like buy it because it's like the famous name, and they don't want a Squire because that used to be like the one you buy like people who are learning, which I guess is still kind of true. Oh, you're the one who's still alive. I couldn't remember. No, you're alive? How did you... There we go. Jesus Christ. But I don't know, man. Inflation, right? Inflation means fuck that noise. You get worse products for more. No thank you. And like... Gibson and Epiphone kind of do the same thing, but they've been like really ramping up the quality of Epiphone lately from what I've seen, which is cool. But then they're like, all right, we gotta charge more for this. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then, like, yeah, Epiphone has literally just become like kind of like worse Gibsons, which I mean, I think is fine. I think if you get a lot of the, again, more expensive Epiphones that kind of rival the less expensive Gibsons, but it's like the difference in quality does not match the difference in price. Like, they are way more expensive than they need to be when you just, like, you know, change what it says on the guitar, which people will pay good money for the right name. I wonder if there's a place that lists gear specs without the brand so you can do a blind test. Brand loyalty is retarded. There has to be. I watched a video too earlier today. It's this guy, oh god, I can't remember his first name. I know his last name was like Dayon or something like that. But he's the guy, if you look up like 52-week guitar player, right? Like, he's the guy who made that course and he like runs it or whatever. And he made a video a few months ago where he bought a guitar blindfolded, where he just had like his buddy like throw guitars into his hand and he played them, and he was like, he tried to find the one that he liked the most, and he ended up with like a Paul Reed Smith guitar. I don't remember the exact model, but yeah, he got like a Squire Telecaster, and he's like, hey, this sounds pretty good. I can tell it's a Telecaster from the shape, but it sounds good. He's like, that's got to be like a $1,000 guitar or something like that, or like, and then, you know, he looks at it at the end and he's like, that was a Squire. Like, so I mean, like, if someone was blindfolded, right, it's like, yeah, it's a Fender, right? And then they see it and they go, oh, that was a Squire. Oh shit, like, you know. And he's a talented player, so obviously, again, there's that thing again, right? Buying good shit doesn't automatically make you good. You have to actually be good, and then you can use whatever, right? I think the other thing that I find appealing about Squire is that because they're sort of like, I think they're just kind of marketed towards younger people because it's like the brand that people buy when they start out, right? It's like the budget brand for people who don't have money, like kids. They do some cool colors and designs and stuff like that. Like they still keep with like the typical, like, you know, Fender designs, and they make, you know, Stratocasters and Jaguars and all that stuff, but then they do like colors and stuff that are like finishes and all that stuff that you don't normally see like in a Fender, at least not that I've seen. Like, I've only seen Squires come in pink, I'll tell you that. And I'm like, the whole thing that like spawned this, like, I'm like, I fucking hate these like brands, right? Is like the Tom DeLonge like signature strat. You know, I've been seeing a lot of talk about that, and this is a repeat for anyone who's on Discord. So, you know, if you wanna get spoilers for what I'm going to talk about during streams, join the Discord, right? But the Tom DeLonge ones are really cool, and I like it, and I think it's neat that you can just buy a guitar and sound like Blink-182, right? I don't think it's worth $12,000 or $1,200, right? $1,200. Not $12,000. That was a oopsie on my part. $1,200. And you see videos of people making like clones of it out of like Squires, and it's like $300 to $500. They just buy the same pickup and all that stuff, and it's the same tuners. I was surprised to find out Squires have nothing to do with Billy Squire. It is named after somebody who had the last name Squire, but yeah, it was not Billy Squire. I cannot remember that fellow's name. It was also originally, they made strings for like violins and guitars and stuff like that, and Fender bought them and then just changed the strings to be Fender strings, and then they needed like a company to make cheaper stuff to rival like clones that were being made in Japan. Oh fuck, you scared me. That was the scariest thing in F.E.A.R. So they revived the Squire name to be like the cheap little brother for the made in Japan market. And then the made in Japans were getting really good, so they made that Fender Japan. The Japanese market is honestly really crazy when it comes to guitars. I really like it and appreciate it. I saw this one, it was a Fender made in Japan with like a scalloped fretboard and nylon strings and no pickups. It's like, it was a Player's like signature series guitar. But yeah, I've never seen an electric guitar with nylon strings until then. Or a scalloped fretboard. I mean, I know scalloped fretboards are a little more like common than that.
He looks okay, but the pilot's dead and Jen's banged up pretty bad.
But I've personally never seen one.
But it'll be a while before I can ice skate again.
All right. In that case, I want you to stay with Jen.
That's actually how I found out scallop fretboards existed, and I went down like a rabbit hole of like learning about them. It's pretty cool. Allegedly, according to people who are much more intelligent than me, they are very good for playing flamenco style, I believe it's called. You know, it's like something that normally you would do with like classical guitars, which I have held a classical guitar with their big square necks. They're very chunky, and yeah, it's not for me. I was already like, even I felt weird holding like an acoustic guitar. I'm like, I know I should probably get one if I want acoustic sounds, but oh no, it feels so weird. Like, I'm not used to this shit. Mostly the acoustic holding that was the body being so thick. I'm not used to that. I like my thin electric guitars. Oh my god, he's smoking. It's the Nirvana face, right? He's smoking. I wonder if it's possible to make an electric guitar with catgut strings. That would be pretty fucking metal. I'm assuming that is not like literal strings made out of catguts. I have never heard of catgut strings though, so forgive me for my ignorance. Though, as metal as it would be to play a metal song with the guts of an animal, I would say that that would be pretty cruel and unusual. Especially for a little kitty cat. Don't gut cats, alright? If you do that, I disown you. And so will the rest of society. You can only be accepted by cat murderers, and those aren't good people. And now YouTube will get mad at me because I said the word murderer. Oh no. How will true crime mukbang ever recover? What's up with... Okay. Like... I don't know. I hate mukbang so much. Like... And then like... I get like people like, oh, I'll tap into 2 markets, right? They had to make strings out of something before nylon. It was fiber from animal intestines, usually sheep or goat. Oh. Yeah, I guess that is true. Okay, but not cats, okay? Like if it's a livestock that already has to be slaughtered for like food, fine, but you know. It's the otato double standard, right? But is it really, when the philosophy is, you know, use every part of the animal and don't waste? Right? If the animal's already being slaughtered for food, for consumption, right? You might as well use all of it for any way or purpose that you can, as long as that's an ethical purpose. As I realized the mistake I made when, as soon as I said any, right? No, not any, just, you know, practical, ethical purposes. Don't don't desecrate livestock that you have to slaughter. That's no bueno. I had to cover my ass on that one before someone was like, Otato, what do you mean you can use your dead animals for anything? It's like, no, you shut the fuck up. You know what I meant. The penetrator. Hostile. Oh, you're hostile. What do you mean? Fucking hostile. That's Pantera, right? I don't listen to a lot of like metal. At least not anymore. I actually never really even listened to Pantera. My brother really likes Pantera, or at least he liked Pantera at some point. I don't know. I never like got into them. When I was into metal, I liked stuff like Korn, which it's like Korn and Slipknot. Oh god, I was so annoying. My friend, he sent me a Bandcamp page, and I was like, maybe it was a Spotify link, maybe it was. The most familiar I have with Pantera is from people trolling Ghost. You know, I know one Pantera song is just I think it's called Walk. I know one song, I think. Yeah, truly fucking great combination of ideas, because I don't think I know it then. but it just, you know, it has a really heavy fucking riff. Like, you know, like it's heavy metal or something. Damn, who would have thought? And it's just, you know, just guy yelling walk. It's fucking... It's one of those songs where you're like, I wish I had more hair, because headbanging without hair is kind of like an empty feeling. Oh, no. No! I think the most time I appreciate metal is when it's in video games, which is kind of weird, but like when you have like a video game with like a nice like metal soundtrack to go with like violence, right? It's pretty good. Like Killing Floor, especially like Killing Floor 2, such good music to go with like just the sheer amount of violence in that game. You know, there's a simple solution, just don't go to the barber. Well, sometimes you have to go to the barber. Because you need to maintain your hair. Also, my hair kind of grows a little weird. Where, like, it gets, like, thick. But it doesn't really go down, right? It doesn't go in the direction I want it to go. Actually, incredibly frustrating and annoying, because... something I've tried to grow it for like years, and it just never gets the way I want it. No matter what I've tried, it's Can you explode? Oh my god, how is he still alive? I wish I had the rocket launcher. Alright, let's do a quick save, right? Oh no. I've got one more. Ah! There's ways to straighten it and conditioners you can use. Yeah, I haven't found one that like works for me. And then I no joke, I tried asking like a hairstylist once, like do you have like anything to like recommend? And they're like they were waffling about it like so hard. I was like, okay, I guess that's a no. Like, I guess just like never ask a barber for you gotta go to a salon and ask like a real stylist, right? Which maybe that's a little rude to barbers out there. Sorry, barbers, but and then I went to some like, I didn't want to call it like a barber shop or a salon, right? They were just a hair cutter. And oh, they absolutely fucked my shit up. It is like way shorter than I ever wanted it to be, and I'm still trying to recover. I mean, why do you think I have the hood on, right? Right? I gotta stay in character, right? Imagine if I updated my model every time I got a haircut. It would be insane. Oh my goodness. I actually did update my model when I changed the color of my glasses. I got new glasses and they were red, so I changed it for like the default model. I used to wear black glasses, but I like switched it up. I was like, yeah, maybe red seems kind of fun. And I like it. I think it's nice. My friend, he was like, I didn't know how I should have taken it, because he was like, oh wow, you got like, because he visited, and you know, he's my friend from New York, so I hadn't seen him in a while, and he's like, oh man, like, I feel like when you lived in New York, you'd have never gotten red glasses. It's like more confident or something, right? Or it's like kind of quirky, like Elton John or something. And I'm like, why Elton John? Like, of all the of all the musicians or like famous people you could have picked, you picked Elton John. Like, you know, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that one. What are you trying to say? Like Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Maybe I shouldn't have taken the shotgun. I can go back, right? No, I can't. Maybe I can. Let's find out. Oh, fuck, he shot my ass. That's definitely an interesting analogy. Yeah, I don't even know if Elton John ever had red glasses. It's not even like a bright red, right? It's like a more subdued, like darker red. I was like, what are you trying to say? What? Are you trying to imply something? Are you implying implications? Yeah, but then his only answer was like, I don't know, it's like kind of quirky. I was like, what am I, one of the animatronics at night? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this. Why is that so loud? I'm gonna need 2 long-range ones. In fairness, you are a quirky little fella. That's fair. I have my quirks, like My Hero Academia, if it was good. Can't tell if anyone's still alive. I don't know. I need like a proper like wrist support because my hand just kind of went like, I don't like the way I've been positioned. My hand just started protesting and went. How many people are gonna unsubscribe from you saying that? I don't know. It'd be funny to find out. They hated Jesus because he spoke the truth, and I'll join that club, right? Call me Cleric Beast the way I'm spitting facts. Oh. I love that panel because it just has someone telling Jesus like, would you shut up? Like, I'm just trying to imagine someone from like antiquity saying shut up and not like some sort of like other sort of phrase like, would you silence yourself, you nimwit, or something like that. I don't know how they spoke in ancient Rome. They said something in Latin, right? Like Shuticus Upitus. That sounds more like a Harry Potter spell. I'm sorry, I hate Harry Potter. There we go. You can unsubscribe for that one too, right? I hated Harry Potter before it was cool. He said calmly. Cease thy blabbering, you thoughtless nincompoop. There we go. I like that one. That's a good one. You brainless nimwit. I would much rather have conversation with an ox's arse than to continue hearing your nonsensical discharge. What if AVGN was old-timey, right? He'd be like, oh, man, I'm drawing blanks, right? I'm trying to think of how I would say game, right? This pastime activity. Pray tell, whatever have they been conceiving?
According to a government spokesperson, a second Black Hawk helicopter has crashed, this one in Auburn. Earlier, a Black
This pastime activity is nothing but the obscene discharge from a donkey's anus. This is giving me no leisure and instead only stomach cramps. God, I keep fucking pressing control! Oh! Why am I crouching? I don't even know. How do I crouch jump? Oh my god. Call me DSP the way I can't do basic movement. Call me DSP the way I... Oh. Damn, that was a ghost? Oh, I guess we're doing the spooky thing for the spooky game, right? You know, I'm sorry for doing that snort. I thought it'd be funny, but like now I just feel gross that I did it. Sometimes the bit isn't... It doth inhale so much it copulates. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, good. There's ghosts that can kill me. Yeah, uh-huh. Didn't see that one coming. God, every time I see, like, Pray Tell, right? I think of, like, you know, Final Fantasy 14, how much they use the phrase, like, disconnected from server. Excuse me, I was playing single player. The fuck you mean disconnected from server? Wait, hold on. Huh? Oh, okay. Gotta do an autosave, not checkpoint. What the fuck? Damn, okay, I guess I gotta do all that again. Should have gotten the GOG version. I already had the Steam version. That was the problem. I didn't want to spend more money. Oh, yeah, huh. I'd tell you, if that's like a bug that persists, wow, that's gonna be the most disappointing incomplete playthrough of a game. I guess it would just be incomplete until I buy the GOG version, but you know. Wow, that's some shit, right? I would hope that the saves are compatible. I don't see why they wouldn't be, but you never know with these games, right? You never know. That's alright though. I have 2 somewhat obscure PS2 horror games that I want to play, and they're probably going to end up getting played after October, but I don't even care. Once I clear up my my list of games, we're gonna just continue playing horror games, as we do anyway, right? I don't know why Spooktober is such an event for me when I literally will just play horror games any time of year regardless, because I like horror games, but you know, we have a little bit of celebration, right? Get to dress up a little bit. I really, you know, like, I know I've mentioned it and people are like, it's fine, right? Everyone has their interests and stuff, but I really, like, try my hardest not to, like, fall into, like, just the typecast of, like, that VTuber who plays horror games and nobody watches, right? But, like, I don't know, I like horror games. The only option is RPGs, and I'm slow at RPGs, so, and, you know, RPGs aren't exactly a popular thing to watch unless you're already large and in charge. I need a med kit. I think I had a lot more health the last time I came through here. So that sucks. Ah! What the fuck? You can't even buy Fear 1 separately on Steam anymore? Only in a bundle with the whole series? Yeah. To be fair, I think I bought the bundle before they did that. Just because I didn't have the games. Well, I had Fear 1, but it was like on CD. Or DVD? I guess it was DVD, but you know what I mean. It was on a disc. Right? In a box, like an actual box. And then I wanted to play Fear 2 and Fear 3 had just... I don't know if it just come out. Maybe it, I don't remember exactly what happened, but... I wanted to play Fear 2 and Fear 3 because my friend wanted to play it co-op, and... Wow! Fear 3 sucked. I mean, it wasn't like bad, but it was like... It was... not good, right? It was like very average and generic, and it had no identity. The most like of its own identity it had was like Paxton Fatale, right? It even says the multiplayer is no longer available. What the fuck do they mean? Disconnected from server. I don't know. Let's save before we drop down the hole, right? Oh, hold on. I have a whole other... I forgot there's like the spooky part that I have to get through. Right. Oh my god. She smells nice. Oh, that's a little weird. What a creep.
She told me so many things.
What'd she tell you? Please get away from me, you freak. What is this, stalker? But you get pushed back? Alright, well I know I can just stand here and shoot, right? Oh. Man, I just remembered I was supposed to look for games to play for the spooky sack, because I want to do that tomorrow. And I completely forgot to go on itch.io and do that. So I'm gonna have to stay up after the stream ends and do that, which is fine. It's no big deal. I was gonna stay up anyway because I had to render. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Disconnected from server. Aha, yes. Good. Simply delicious. We didn't even get an hour into the game. It's like 58 minutes. I was not prepared to have to do this. We'll try it one more time, right? And hope that... You know what? Let's try restarting the game, right? Maybe that'll help, right? We restart the game. And it'll work, right? If not, I guess we'll switch to Dead Space a little early. Well, thank goodness it's only $9.99 on GOG, I guess. Yeah, that'd be really great if I didn't get surprised by my Amazon Prime subscription yesterday, and now I am a little lower on funds than I expected to be. Hey, by the way, also speaking of Amazon Prime, do you know that you can subscribe for free with your Prime subscription, and it directly helps me? Wow, yeah, that was the most shameless I've ever been about it, but no, really, fuck. I didn't know until now that you can set it up to remind you like 3 days in advance that it's gonna like ding you. Which is annoying because that should be a default option, honestly. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, come on. I'm like one of like the 3 people in the world who plays New World. Come on, can you like cut me a break? Yeah, disconnect from server or whatever. Jeez. Okay, looks like we're not playing Fear anymore until I can figure that one out. So we're gonna do a brief BRB, and when I return we'll play some Dead Space. And I'm gonna have to find like a third game to play, I guess, to fill in some time, maybe. Or maybe I won't. Maybe we'll just play Dead Space for a while. We'll find out. We'll play it by ear because the stream has been derailed. So be right back.